Just a second. I want to set up something, but I forgot where is it. It here. Where is it? Why? Yeah. Now, at least it shows that we are in a virtual lecture room. So, okay. Hello. Okay, so now let me introduce myself. I'll be your convener for this unit and a lecturer for this whole 13 weeks. So, yeah, I will be taking your questions and I will try to answer them. So, yeah, if you do not have anything, you may try to unmute your mic so that it will not be an echo. Anyway, all right. So, can I have? I mean, this is our first day. We are supposed to be in the classroom. We'll be socializing, doing some teaching, and of course, we'll be having much fun time. But unfortunately, as we see that we cannot be in the classroom, so it will be on virtual classroom all through this 13 weeks. And based on that, now we still need to socialize because you know me. I hope that you can see me and then you know who you are talking with or whom you are listening to. So it will be good for me if I would also know you guys. So do you mind to tell me whether you are, turn on your mic if you want to talk, and then is it your first time in Swinburne? Is the very first semester in Swinburne?
No.
Oh, so you've been here for some time then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So you already are familiar with the Swinburne environment, but none of us are familiar with this change environment. So it is being a little bit challenge of coping with everything, but we hope that we'll go through all of it. Anyway, so since it is not your first semester in Swinburne, it is not your first experience with us as well. We actually had this type of online blended learning that we call blended learning, because you are familiar with Canvas then, is it?
Yes.
Okay, good. So the thing is, everything will be on Canvas, all right? All the materials, the videos, those tutorials, everything will be on Canvas. It will go week by week, and you will find it under every module, weekly module. You will find those the things on Canvas. So I already have uploaded one video for lecture 1, that is atomic structure. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So go through that, or there are so many other maybe other sources that you can find similar information. So you can also go and try to do, listen to that. And if you have any question, you can also try to, you just email me or send me an email, yeah, or notify me on Canvas or just email me, whatever. However, I will try to answer you within 48 hours. If I forget, anyhow, because these things of these, so don't hesitate to buzz me again, okay? Just email once again that I have forgotten to answer you or reply you. So yeah, just give me a reminder. Anyway, so let's go to that some of our things to do here. Where is it? Hold on. Yes, but yep. So this is our unit outline for this FSE10021 Foundation Chemistry, and for this semester, of course. So this semester, this unit is being designed for you guys to make you a bit, to build your skill so that you will be able to know the process or chemical calculations, or you will have enough skill to go forward for your tertiary or for your degree courses, so that you will have enough skill or develop enough knowledge so that it will be easier for you, the engineering or science, whatever course or stream you looking for in the tertiary studies or higher studies. This course is also aimed that you should know the principle of chemicals. And when we are saying about chemicals, we do not, we are not interested only about the chemical itself, but the process and calculation, or the ideas behind why the chemicals will produce some kind of another compound, why those things happened. And to know these, we have to understand from the very basic thing, my very small amount, that is the atoms. So our first lecture was on atom, and we have already started the videos, and every week you will have the video, and the link will be shared on the Canvas. So please go and check that. And when we are talking about the calculation, it will be about the quantitative and qualitative aspect of data analysis of the calculation. Quantitative is actually the quantity, what we can measure, like all those calculations that we can put the values, that is the quantitative, and it will be tested all throughout your lecture, tutorials, and a lab report, for production of lab report. But qualitative as well is very important for us, because in the lab report, you don't only do the calculation, or you don't only think about or consider about the numbers. You also have to reason it to other aspect, like why it is happening, how it is happening, how it could be better, why we did not get, or you did not get the actual values, how it is deviated. So those things that you answer should be qualitative aspect of analysis. So this is also important, that in a short, the qualitative is how you explain, and quantitative is how you calculate the values. Okay, so in short, that. So both of these traits will be tested for your all throughout this unit. And when you are producing this thing, there will be you will be tested about your skill of communication. How do you communicate with your partners, with your group members? By the way, I'm coming to your group member and also for the assignment on renewable energy. Okay, so both things I will be talking in shortly. All right, so our learning outcomes, we'll have 5 learning outcomes for this unit, that the concept of stoichiometry and apply them for chemicals. What is stoichiometry? It's a very big name or very heavy name, but it is very simple thing. But it is very, very important for chemical calculation or chemical reaction, understanding the chemical reaction. Okay, so basic laboratory skills. Unfortunately, we will not be able to go to the lab, probably, most probably. I do not know whether this MCO will be extended or we are good already, maybe. So if it is not lifted, or maybe I do not know what is going to happen after 2 weeks. So maybe this time, hold on. Maybe this time we will be virtually will know about the lab and the experiment, how to do the experiment all through this. I will share some videos from YouTube or maybe elsewhere, so you can see the process of doing laboratory work, right? Some noise coming, sorry for that. Anyway, so yeah, so we'll see this to develop the skills for laboratory work to do the what involves the chemicals and processes. Equilibrium will also be important when there is a reaction happening. Reaction is happening, that means between two species, two chemicals, there will be a reaction, so there will be another product will be formed, right? But in due process, hello, yeah.
Yes, sir. So we don't need to perform the experiment. Like we just see it virtually.
Can you repeat once again, please?
So like we don't need to perform the experiment. We will just see it virtually. This is what you're trying to say.
I still did not get because of the noise. I think there is some on the internet, but what I understand that yeah, we will be seeing uh, I mean, I will provide you the datas, of course. I will provide you data first. Second, I will try to give the video links that the similar experiment has been done before. Not
Okay.
exactly same, but I will try. I'm not sure 100% that if I will get all the videos for all type of experiment. We have 9 experiment here. Probably we'll do 8, but I do not know whether I will get 8 all the videos from internet or not. If I get, I will share with you, and I will give you the data, the mock data. So then you will have to come up with those data to write the report with your lab partners. But everyone will have to write the lab report, not only one of your partner. Both partners will have to write the lab report.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, thank you. If any one of you have any question, just unmute and ask me the question. It's okay. I am okay with that. Okay, so we will see the understanding, the equilibrium. So I was talking about the equilibrium, that when two chemical species react together to form a product, right? During this process, there is a step, there is a certain time that neither the product is forming nor the reactant is being reacting anymore. They are very much suspended, looks like suspended, they are stable. They are not doing any reaction anymore. So that is called the equilibrium. And at some point, they will reach the equilibrium. We'll see how and why they reach the equilibrium and what type of chemicals also reach that equilibrium. We will see that. And it is important to understand the process of chemical reactions. So describe a range of non-renewable energy sources. So for this is especially number 4 is for your assignment. right? So this is for your assignment. We will see that what type of renewable sources, energy, non-renewable and renewable energy sources we have. What is non-renewable? What is renewable source? And why those things are important to consider now, and how this chemical or chemistry aspect can help to find more renewable and non-renewable energy sources, right? Okay, so these things will be important. And of course, we will also go for organic compounds later, towards the later of our semester, like from semester 8, I think we'll start. Sorry, week 8 we will start, or 7 or week 8 we will start for the organic compound. We'll know the names of the organic compounds, why it is organic, what is not organic, that is inorganic, how this thing going to differentiate, how the reaction goes on. All those things we will be discussing as much as possible. Another thing is, during this time, you have already seen, okay, the content, generic skill, the graduate attributes, everything will be is given here. You are expected that you will show these after you have completed this unit. And the content that we will learn from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, but is not accordingly to that every week we will have every content. It may be 1 week we will 2 weeks we will have the same content or throughout the discussion time. So for again to check what content we have on that week, in that week, from the Canvas link that will be provided. Okay, so my name is Bazlul Mobin. Once again, I told you, and this is my email ID. It is already been given on the Canvas. So you please email to me anytime you want, or if you have any question anywhere. All right, so this is our time or scheduling for this teaching period, the whole teaching period, semester 1, 2020. And this is our idea or plan to go like this week by week. It may be deviated a bit, depends on the progress of our lecture or the learning scale. So maybe it will be deviated a bit, but not too much. And this is how our experiment will go. And it shows that laboratory assessment, online demo, and virtual lab. So online demo is highly subjective, depends on the situation. If the situation is become easy, and if we can go to the lab or uni office, I will try to do the demo online, how to do all these. But if it is not, maybe I'll just share some videos if available. There are a lot of if, I know. And the virtual lab is based on the given mock data that you will have to come up with the report. So you will be given the project as well early next week, okay? And for this project, I can see that we have 20 students. So every group, there will be 5 groups altogether. Every group, I will divide the group according the list you appear on the Canvas, okay? From first 5 student, 4 student will be in one group, second 4 student will be another group, like that. I do not know who will be. So you have to contact between your group members and have to work together for that project that is due on 8 June, week 8. That will be, exact date will be given later on, but that week will start in June 8, from 8 till 14. That week you have to submit in that week. But before that week, after in week 6, in week later of the, around the later date of week 6, we will have the first test. Okay, it will be an online test that you will have some time to finish the test, and it is individual, not like group. It is not a group work. There will be test 1, that is individual, and it will be on week 6. So that week is May 18. That will start on May 18. The exact date will be published later on Canvas notification, and you will be given a certain time, 8 hours, 10 hours, I don't know, I will choose later on, so that you have to, the question will also be provided. It is individual work, so that you will you solve the problems, you do the necessary thing to answer the question and upload your working on through some link that will be shared later on. So these two things, week 6 you will have test 1, 8 you will have project, and since this time there will be no final exam, there will be final assessment 1 and final assessment 2, right? So that will be one final assessment 1, that is also individual, so everyone will have to do that. That is weighting is 25%. It will be on week 10. That week you have to submit it on week 10, and the final assessment 2 you have to submit on week 13. So there will be 2 final assessment rather than final exam, right? You cannot come to the uni, so you cannot have the final exam, you cannot sit for the final exam, but this is how and what. Hello, yeah, anyone who's talking with me? Hello. Okay, if you have any question, you can just ask me anytime. Anyway, so I hope that you can see my Word file that I am showing the unit outline now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and yeah, so the final assessment, you will have one assessment 25%, another was 25% as well. It will be due on week 10. Another one will be on due week 13. Yeah, both for final assessment will be same, the grading criteria. The grading criteria for the final assessment will be same. And the thing is, you, for this time, you do not have to have the 50% or 40% for the final exam altogether. If you get 50%, that is the condition to pass this unit. Okay, so now these 2 books will be useful for you, and it will be not only this, any books will be followed, but most of these 2 books will be useful for you. The links to go to the online from, how to find this book online from our online library, I'll share you within this week. Today is Thursday, by tomorrow I'll share you. I have email to them. I will, if I know the link, I'll share you here, on the Canvas. Okay, so hold on. Okay, this is basically what you need to know. And oh, for another thing, so mid-semester test gone, project gone, final assessment 1, final assessment 2, we have already talked. For project, you have to submit on week 8 that I was telling you. Okay, so on week 8 you have to submit the project, and another thing is you have to do the presentation as well. All 4 of you will have to do the presentation based on what section you worked on, right? Like I asked you for the project, we have asked you to do the project on what to say, on fossil fuel. On fossil fuel. Fossil fuel, we know that is petrol or the methane or biogas or whatever. That's called fossil fuel. And 4 of you worked on different section of the fossil fuel. 1 of you worked on the how the fossil fuel is generated, another one worked on how fossil fuel is extracted from the mine. Third one is how fossil fuel is used. And fourth one from your group, you worked on how to improve the fossil fuel, or what is the impact on our society or environment of fossil fuels. So all 4 of you worked together on the fossil fuel, but each of you work in different form or different section. So along with your submission of your project, you have to submit the project at the end. Like I will guide you, of course, later on, I mean, time to time, of how to write the project. You will write the introduction. What is your aim? What is your introduction? What is the methodology that you followed to write or to do the research, and what is the outcome, that is conclusion and discussion of this project. But you will submit this one. Along with this, you have to submit a video presentation of 4 of you. So all 4 of you will do the video, and then please merge together in one file and send it to me on that day that I will announce it on Canvas. Right? So 4 of you will do your part, which part you have written for the project. So each of you will do your presentation part, and then merge it together, send me as one video file to my email, or share it with Canvas. I will let you know how and what. And yeah, so your marks will be dependent on the project writing skill, how much you have do the research, and also how well you do the presentation, how good you are doing the presentation. Okay, all those things will be. So all these things, yeah, this is for the presentation for the project. Another important thing is, since you have lab every week, only the mid-semester week you do not have lab. So every week you have to submit your lab report as well through the submission link you find every week under every week module on Canvas. Okay, so every week you have to submit this lab report through Canvas submission link. Every week it will be published. Hold on, someone, there is a question. Yeah, Tanvir Ahmed. Yes, bro, you have to submit, I mean, you have to show your face as well. Okay, so it will be a formal presentation, and yeah, it will be a full-fledged presentation. So, and nothing to worry much, because nobody can catch you when you are doing the presentation. Only after you do the presentation we can see. So yeah, nothing to worry much. Yeah. Umme Habiba, yeah, thank you for the, I mean, Tanvir Ahmed and Umme Habiba, same, good. Thank you for the question. Yes, everyone will be assessed separately, individually. It is not cumulative for the presentation. Okay, for the presentation, and for report as well. If you do the good for your part, you will get good marks. If you are I mean, if you do not use your 100% of your capability, so you will not get high marks. So it does not matter that if you worked very much and then some of you did not work. So those who do not work will not get high mark. Okay, so now So every week you will have to submit the lab report to the Canvas submission link. All right. So is there any other question? If not, then I am going to that experiment 1 to show you how to write the lab report and what we mean by showing the lab report. Please I need your reply if you can see the experiment. No, not this one. Hold on, not this one. Yeah. Can you see experiment 1 analysis of vinegar on your screen as well? Okay. All right. So this is your experiment 1. This will be your experiment 1 on vinegar, the analysis of vinegar. The vinegar, do you know what is vinegar?
Yes.
Okay. We use it a lot for our food preparation. And this is also a kind of, preservative, I mean, mild preservative that we can preserve our food, especially pickles. We preserve. But this is the chemical name. Do you know the chemical name for vinegar? Can anybody tell me? What is the chemical name for the vinegar? Does anybody know? Can anybody tell me? Sir, when does the class end? This
It's
class,
something with acid.
yeah, this is an acetic acid. The Muhammad Fuad, the class will end after maybe, let's say, 20 minutes, around about 1 hour. Okay. So if any of you are busy and have something urgent to do, you can always leave and go do the thing. It will be, the video will be saved. Later you can take the video after 10-15 minutes after we have ended. We will see, you can see the video here. So later you can see, or you can download as well. The link will be shared on Canvas as well. Yes, so thank you those who have replied. Acetic acid is a vinegar, but not quite. If you, if you just take acetic acid, it will be, it will be very fatal. Vinegar is just 4 to 5% of acetic acid, like 5 milliliter of vinegar, 4 milliliter of vinegar, and 96 or 95 milliliter of water. When we mix together, that is 4 milliliter of acetic acid. When we mix with 96 milliliter of water, pure water, then it becomes vinegar. So yeah, acetic acid is not exactly vinegar, but it is the main component from vinegar. So it says that how to analyze the vinegar, or how much acetic acid we have in our solution for vinegar. Okay. So yeah, this type of this exact file will be uploaded to Canvas later. So what you will do is you will write your name here. You will write your name here, and then you will write your student ID as well. You group number will be assigned to you, but you do not need to write the group number, but date is important. Please write the date. Okay. In group, you can write the semester 1 to 2020. That is okay. If you write semester 1 2020, that is good. So before this lab thing, we should do, usually we should do the checklist, but since we are not having the lab practical, I mean physically, we are not having a virtual lab, so it is not much important. But the thing is, yes, you have the attendance, okay? I will check from who are joining me on live session time to time. Maybe once or twice is okay, but if you do not attend regularly, then it will be reported. And another important thing is you must access the canvas once, at least once a week. That means every week you have to check and the canvas so that we know that you are coping with those things that is happening here. All right, so the marking rubric, your marking for this lab report will be in this way. It will follow this way. If you have a good, the point will get good points. If you are observing this, the calculation steps are shown clear and accurately. If there is any graph, the graph is plotted accurately. The proper use of mathematical formula, that the formula that is being used or that should be used for calculating those things has been used or has been talked about. If those things are already putting there, you will get good marks. If you do not put all the graphs that is required, or you just like carelessly try to write, okay, this thing is this because we get this, and without showing the numerical calculation or appropriate steps, and if you do a lot of mistakes, right, you will get a very poor mark. Discussion, if you have good discussion, I mean according to this, then you will have good marks. But if you do not do, like only one of the discussion is good and the rather is not filled or not done very carelessly done, so that you will not get good marks, you will be poor marks you will get. But if the result and summary are compared to accept value, whether it's appropriate or not, you discuss with this, and you discuss that the result is how the explanation of the result you provided. All these things will be considered when we are marking the lab. And every lab report is marked. Every lab report are marked out of 20. But since for our total lab marks, we have 20 marks, right? 15%. Sorry, we have 15% of the total marks for all the lab. So for each lab, you have, if we can do 9 experiments. So yeah, you divide 15 by 9. How many? 1.6, something like that. 1.6 marks for each of the lab. Or if we do 8 experiments, like we can do only 8 experiments, we cannot go for 9 experiments, then probably it will be a little higher, 1.8 something marks per lab you will have. Okay, but whatever the marks is, 1.8 or 1.67, whatever the marks are, you will be, all those labs will be marked out of 20. And then let's say that you get here 15 marks, right? Let me do a little snip. Okay, so let's say that you get here 18 marks. Okay, so can you see that I wrote 18 in red? Anyone, can you answer me? That can you see that I'm writing 8? No. No?
No.
Okay. Let me see how I can do it. I think you can see now. Can you? Yeah. So this one, okay, yeah, thank you. So this one, if let's say that you get 18 out of 20 marks, right? So this 18 marks will be converted, this 18 marks will be converted out of, let's say, 1.66 marks or 1.8 mark for this lab, lab 1, lab 2, all. So out of 1.8, these 18 marks mean what? If 20 marks you get 1.8 marks, right? 1.8 marks you get. If 20 marks you get full marks, then that means you actually get 1.8. So if 18 marks you get, that means how much is this? So it will be converted in the actual marks, and this is, yeah, thank you, 1.66 or whatever. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it will be like that. So I back to our original thing. Allow. Okay, so somebody, Angel. Okay. Hold on. Where is Angel? Someone just wanted to get the control, and I gave the control. So anyway, so so now I'm going to that. Okay, I'm going to that our experiment 1. So the experiment, this will be the experiment, and you will see that sodium hydroxide, right, is a base, and this is the acetic acid, that is the vinegar. So if we react together, that will be whenever there is acid and base reaction, there will be a salt and water. That is the universal truth. You don't have to worry about it. Whenever there is a acid and base reaction, there will be a salt and water. So the salt, of course, it depends on what type of acid and base you are working. For this purpose, we have sodium acetate. The sodium is coming from sodium hydroxide, and acetate ion is coming from sodium acetate, and water is being produced. So how much, because the reaction is 1 and 1, so how much of the sodium acetate being produced from here, it can be found, or how much of sodium acetic acid is there, it can be found from this titration, doing the titration. Okay, so for your example, for your information, this acetic acid vinegar is also called ethanoic acid. Okay, this is the active ingredient. This is the active ingredient in vinegar, so that is ethanoic acid is also called. So what we will do is we will take the, in one flask, we will take 25 milliliter of this acid, and from the burette we will add amount of the sodium hydroxide. One of those chemical I must know. I have to know the concentration of one of these chemical. if I want to know if the acid is unknown, I must know the base, or if I want to know the base concentration, I must know acid. One of these things must be known. Otherwise, if both are unknown, we cannot find the other one. I mean, we cannot find the concentration of those. One of them must be known. So let's say for this case, our base is known, that is sodium hydroxide is known. It has a known concentration of 0.1 molar. I think, yeah, I think it's 0.1 molar concentration of the base. And the acid, we do not know the acid concentration. So what we'll do is we take in one flask volume the base, and in the burette that is on the top, it will be the base will be in the burette and the acid will be in the conical flask. So we will start to add drop by drop of this base into the acid with a help of an indicator. The indicator, chemical indicator, for this case, we will use phenolphthalein, and the indicator uses as to tell us that when the reaction has been completed. Okay, so indicator changes its color from colorless to some color, or from some color to colorless, depends on the different indicator. For this case, phenolphthalein will be pink. It will be faint pink when the reaction is just over, just neutralized. That means enough amount of a base has been added to neutralize the acid, so that it will change the color. And then we know that, okay, this much base, from the burette reading, we can find that, okay, this much base, that is sodium hydroxide, we have added. And we know that what is the concentration of the acid and the volume of the acid. From there, we will know the number of moles, right? We'll know the number of moles of base, that is sodium hydroxide, has been used in that reaction. And since it is a 1:1 reaction, we see that 1 mole of sodium hydroxide is reacting with 1 mole of acetic acid, right? 1 mole of sodium hydroxide reacting with 1 mole of acetic acid. So if I need, let's say, X mole of sodium hydroxide, that means that there will be X mole of acid as well, right? Since 1 mole needs 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, 1 mole of vinegar needs 1 mole of sodium hydroxide. So if I have X mole of X amount of molar Y, or let's say 100 moles of acetic acid, that means I must use 100 mole of sodium hydroxide, right? So neutralize that. So since from the burette reading, we find that, let's say, X mole of sodium hydroxide was used for this reaction, and that is why we know that X mole of acid is there. Right. So since X mole of acid is there, we also can find the concentration of the acid, because the concentration is mole per liter. So 25 milliliter of acid we used, and milliliter, that is volume, 25 milliliter of volume of acid we used, and now we found that X mole of acid is there. So X mole over 25 milliliter, of course we have to convert it to liter, that means 0.025 liter. So from there we can find the concentration of the acid. So the titration, we will have to do 4 titration. This data will be provided to you. Different group will get different data, so you cannot copy. And then you will have to come out with which 3 we will take. Okay, take the 3 or 4, whichever you want to take, but only those 3 will take that is very near to each other, right? Like for 1 you get 25 milliliter, from 2 you get 25.5, for 3 you get 26, but 4 you get 28, 5 you get 21. So all 3, 25.5, 25, 26, all very close, but 4 is 28 and 5 is 21. Those are very far. So probably you will not take those one because maybe there was something wrong with these two. So we will just take 3 of these 3, and then we'll take the average of these 3, right? So this is how we will take the data. And then you will calculate the amount of sodium hydroxide in mole, the average titer, and the number of in 20 milliliter, how many moles of ethanoic acid will be there, and the concentration of this ethanol in undiluted form. So all these things you will be using to do this thing. Discussion and conclusion. So once again, our aim when we started this experiment, our aim is this: the purpose or to aim was to determine the concentration of ethanoic acid active in commercial vinegar using acid-base titration. Yes, everyone will have to do it individually. Okay, everyone have to submit the lab report. Okay, so at the end, when you find all those calculations, when you come to the data, discussion and conclusion, you write that how did you do and why those acid-base reaction works, right? And for your discussion, you write that how this reaction happens, why phenolphthalein has been added as an indicator, how this phenolphthalein changes color, or why does it change color. I mean, how much you know the information, or how much you can gather the information from books or whatever. So this thing you will come in the discussion, and in the conclusion you should write that whether if you have gotten the answer, if you have gotten the percentage or the concentration of ethanoic acid or acetic acid in the vinegar, if you have found it. And if you have found it, if you say that, okay, we have found that this is the concentration of vinegar, weight percent by weight percent, but what does it, is it true? Is it good? Is it acceptable or not? So this thing you have to come out in the conclusion part. Okay, so this is the first experiment. It will be uploaded by end of this week, and then by next week you will do it, and the next week, that is, our lab was supposed to be on Monday, right? Let me check. Our lab is on Thursday. Okay, so yeah, this is our lab time. All right, so this is yes, what are the apparatus you used? You will be telling, like main apparatus like burette, pipette, this conical flask, this round bottom flask, those things. Not very detailed, just a small, just to know that you know everything. Yeah, you have to just a little bit. So this is our usual lab time, 11 to 1. So every week we will meet this time online, right? Every week we'll meet online. We will talk about the tutorial, and we will talk about the lab. And by next week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I will upload this thing to Canvas, so that you have 1 week to submit. So next week, let me check what is the date. It will be already also be published on Canvas. So next, this is our week 1, week 2, 23rd. So by 30th, you should submit the lab report 1. Actually 29. By 29, you should submit the lab report 1, and we will publish the lab 2 on 30th of April, so that you will submit that lab 2 on 6th of May. So every week you have to submit the lab report this way. Okay. Now we go there, and there is a question. Hold on, I need to check the question. What is the question? Yeah, I mean, how can Ume Habiba? How can we make the experiment better? Do we have to mention that too? Yes, if you can, of course you can tell that what are the factors that causes the problem. You did not get the accurate value, or maybe that disturbed your equation or your experiment. So how could you improve that experiment? What should measure you should take? All those things should be discussed. If you want to discuss, you can discuss, no problem. Okay, so now I know, I mean, don't worry too much. We know this is a challenging time, so we have to understand each other. I know that you will also have a lot on your plate. We are here to help you. Anything or any question you have, you can just send me email or buzz me anytime. And if I forget, please remind me once again, send me a reminder for that. And there is a very good question here, that if the data is already provided, how can we decide if the experiment has been over titrated? So the data will be given to you. You have to take the average of the data, and then you I know, understand that it is you cannot consider everything that has been accurately done or not, but you can just go to the discussion and say that, okay, this experiment was done by this way, so maybe there is a room for doing it better way, in this way. Okay, there is a room that we can do it in better way. So there is the, I understand that you cannot see whether the color changes was too much or too less, so you cannot actually discuss it. But yeah, there is a way that you can actually, come up with the discussion and tell that this is good, this is bad, this is how it should be, or what you can just recommend what are the necessary steps that we should take to make the experiment better. Okay. Not necessarily have to tell you that whether the experiment was wrong or right, but yeah, what are the things that could make better? Those things you can tell. Okay, so this is pretty much what I wanted to tell. So do you have any question, any other question? So I can see that we are here. How many? One, two, three, 4, 6, 7. Quite many of you are here. So all are currently in Malaysia, or if anybody outside from Malaysia joining here. Okay. Oh, that's good. It's really good to connect to all over the world right now. Not everybody in Malaysia now. Oh, that's great to know. Qatar, Pakistan, Malaysia. Oh, that's good. I really feel like I'm in international environment just like now. Great. I mean, all of you from wherever you are, welcome to here in Swinburne from Kuching. And I really hope that this thing will be easy soon and we can really meet up face to face. We can share much more. Really, I mean, trust me, it is much more, I mean, fun when we are talk physically, I mean, face to face. Yeah, all over it is. Sometimes maybe we should go, all of us go to online and do sharing of our video. We see each other so that we can make a more strong bonding. So, okay, so thank you very much for being here. And I want to see you, I hope to see you everyone again next week. Same time, 11 a.m. Malaysia time. I know that it is, since all of you are not from Malaysia, it is not easy to get in time. I mean, for you, maybe it is too early or too late, but let's cope with it. And because I have to follow the timetable as well. So what do you think, that this time is okay, or you want to, or we have another slot on Friday 2 p.m. Do you think it is better? Some of you will see that it is good, but next Monday I will come once in a week for this live session. So I want to make once in a week this live session. So should I continue? I mean, I would prefer to continue this time, that is, will be on Thursday, 11 a.m. Malaysia time. Will that be okay? I see. Okay, so we will continue on Thursday, this time every week, 11 a.m. So we'll see you next week also. And the more important thing is stay at home, stay safe, take all precautions. Yeah, so sir, for online assessment, approximately how much time would be given to us? Online assessment means the test. Annie, just hold on. Online assessment means you are talking about the test or this thing? No. Yeah, test. For test, I will tell you how long, maybe 8 hours, maybe 6 hours. We do not know. I will set the date and will tell you later to an approximate date. When the date approaches, we will know. You will be notified. Okay, I will publish the group members name on Canvas notification. You will know by end of this week. Okay, so after that, you have to contact with your group member. You can discuss with them about your practical lab and also about the assignment. How about next Monday? Is it shifted to Thursday? Yeah, we will have one live session like this once per week. Okay, maybe if we have more things to talk, then I will notify you. I will notify you in advance so that you can come and join on me live as well. But preferably, we will talk around this time, that is Thursday on 11 Malaysia time. And every week I will post it on the weekly module so that you can click on the link every week. The same group will be for the labs too. Not necessarily, because the group, for lab group, you have 2 members, right? For assignment, you have 4 members in a lab. So yeah, you will have different members on the lab in assignment. Any other questions? Any other questions, anyone? Okay, no. All right. Okay, then, yeah, wish you have a nice day there, wherever you are. Stay safe, take all the necessary safety precautions, and see you next week. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye-bye.